Why the flashiest hair fix fail you? Why? Ladies and gentlemen, that's today's topic. Without a more, this is the Hair Wire. And welcome, guys. Welcome to another episode of the Hair Wire, the place where you, my friends, get hair smart. I'm your host, Sergio Cardona, alongside with Carrie Jarrett. How you doing, Carrie?
I'm good. I'm very excited about this topic. It's going to be fun because you know me, I love research.
Oh, yeah. Nah, today's topic is quite the subject. It's quite the subject because you see, a lot of us, we're suffering with hair loss, right? And we want to try the latest fad, the newest product, the latest research, whatever, right? And we want to get the fastest results because at the end of the day, the only reason why we do this is because we want to experience the best results, period. But why? Why so many things that we try, they fail us? Why the flashiest hair fix fail us? Carrie, walk us through this subject because it is a good one. And I mean, you pretty much build it.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I remember growing up, my mom and my grandma always had this saying is the truth always comes out in the wash. And it's so true. And with everything with hair loss and being in the industry where everybody wants a quick fix and everybody has the product that works, people don't know the full truth of it all. And they want the quick fix and don't realize long-term effects and don't consider that. And with us in the hair industry, we see it all the time. Everybody has the best product and it's going to work and it's going to this. But then 6 to 9 months or a year out, it's the fan again. And so I wanted to talk about this just because it needs to be revisited. It needs to be revisited. And, it's just like that thing, like, how do I say it? We as people just want the quick fix and it's all going to be good. Just like that crash diet you do, everybody does the crash diet and then they gain all the way back plus 10% more. It's the same with hair loss. And it's because you're not getting to the root of the problem and doing real solutions for real fixing and correcting the situation. Because, it's like, growing a garden. If the garden was shitty this year and you try it again, unless you do any fixing or any correction to the soil, it's still going to have a shitty crop. Same idea. But I've also seen people have shitty gardens who put the work and cleaned it and did the work and have beautiful crops. Like those in, I think it's Japan or Korea, where they have gardens in cement blocks on the side of the road and they are producing full tomatoes, beautiful vegetables, but then you have this beautiful space and you're not growing anything. It's all about how you feed it, the environment, the epigenetics, putting that work into it, and the quick fix won't work, you guys. So that's why we wanted to talk about this.
That's true. Quick fixes, they do not work. And the reason why they do not work is because they are not tailored to your particular needs. That's the first mistake. I mean, if you want results, you need to understand what's happening with you. What's your biggest problem? And that's kind of hard sometimes to ID because we are sometimes so fixed into what I believe is happening to me that I actually neglect some of the things that actually happen to me. And I get this a lot, particularly when I'm doing my consultation and I'm talking to people and people be like, well, Sergio, I'm losing my hair because I had a stressful event this amount of time ago and now I'm shedding my hair. I'm like, okay, usually, that's the place where I usually start working on, right? But for instance, I had this female. She came to the office and she said to me that she was experiencing hair loss after she had a hair coloring service, right? And that one of the things that got me kind of questioning, because after a coloring service, if you did not experience a allergic reaction, if you did not experience heat in the area where the treatment was applied, if you do not see any itching, burning sensation right afterwards, or a couple of minutes or a couple of hours afterwards, then how come it's possible that you experience hair loss out of a treatment, out of a hair coloring, for instance? Because if there's no damage at the moment, and the only damage that can actually arise from hair coloring is burning. If you get burned, then of course you could cause hair shedding, you could cause hair breakage because of the burning. But the thing is that as I was talking to her, she mentioned to me that a couple months earlier she started, a weight loss program. She started using GLP solutions, and she has a very stressful work environment, which she says, it has been like that for quite a while. But the thing is that about 3 months before that hair coloring, she had a major, major stress event, and she was not correlating that to her hair loss. So
Yeah,
she
we're
had a
quick to
major.
blame everything else, but actually do the deep work.
Exactly. And she forgot about her stressful events. She forgot about her dieting. And the thing is that that happened about 3 months before she has her hair color. And after she has her hair color, that's when the hair shedding events, start to happen. So naturally she says, well, this happened because of my hair color, but not because of the hair color per se, but actually because there were triggers that actually happened a few months back. And those triggers happen to coincide with the time that you decide to have your hair done, with the hair color in particular. So, that's one of the things. And she was like, okay, so if my issue was the hair coloring, then I would stop using hair color, and I would, stop my hair shedding. But she hasn't colored her hair for about 6 months, and the shedding has not stopped. How about that? How can I then have a hair shedding caused by hair coloring, but I'm not coloring my hair anymore? You know, so those are the type of things that you usually want to correct in the process, because by eliminating what truly is and what truly isn't, then you are able to go ahead and move to the right treatment plan. And unfortunately, because we are not following through that process of elimination, we are falling for every new fad, every new treatment that falls in line, that comes into the pipeline, that everybody else is advertising, and
Yep.
that's bad. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Carrie.
Yeah. When it comes to a lot of that, like, you know, we're in such a world where we're getting news from the media, from YouTube, from like all the glitz, the light, the glam, and we think it's the best of the best. I'm sorry, but you can put glitter on shit and make it look sparkly, but doesn't mean so. And I see this so often. Like, for example, we went to this one restaurant the other day, and my husband and I are foodies. We're genuinely foodies. And we went to this one restaurant, advertising, it's all flashy. Everybody's like, it's the best in the place. And I went and I got my bill, and the food, like, well, I got the food first. I was not blown away. Like, it was.
Yeah.
And then I got my bill. I was like, for what? Like, there's nothing special about what we got. Like, I had no experience, no nothing. The service sucked. The food sucked. Everything sucked. Yes, the atmosphere looked cool. I'll give it that. But I'm here to eat and eat food. And so why are they putting glitter on shitty food service? It sucked. But then I asked around to a couple of friends, like, oh, yeah, I went there. It was awful. I'm like, why didn't you tell me before I went? Like, but I didn't ask. Okay, that's fair. But so I started asking my friends, I'm like, okay, so where do you go? What is your favorite place? And I have gone past recently, actually, another restaurant we went to the other day, which people kept telling us, and I kept trying by. I'm like, oh, it looks awful. It doesn't look like a place I want to go. It's in the industrial park. The front view is the highway. I don't want to eat there. I finally went there. I have gone there 3 times since. It is so good. So good. Because they focus on the food and the service. The service is top notch. The food is top notch. I'm so happy to go there. And it's that hole in the wall. And same with hair stuff. Like the amount of times that I have seen hair services or techniques or treatments that people have been like, it's so awesome. Like particular hair brands, everybody are so sold on this one particular hair brand, and I cannot stand this hair brand. It's the shittiest hair brand I've ever worked with. And I hate it when people go, oh, it's my favorite. I'm like, oh, like, and I show them the one I like. They're like, oh, it doesn't look good. It's not pretty. I'm like, this is the best product. Like this is the best product. And then they try it, or I put it, I actually have a couple friends dumped out their stuff and put in my stuff. Like, oh, it's so good. I'm like, I swapped it to show you the product. And yeah, like just because you think or told that it looks good because of media doesn't mean it's going to be good. It's like buying Heinz ketchup versus no name brand. It's the same idea. Like,
Yes.
ask the questions, find the questions. Like, don't just because somebody has sold you to it because it's branding and it's marketing and my hairdresser told me to do it. Well, we sell you product because we make money off of it. Doesn't mean it's good, and I used it and it sucks. So do your research. Find out people who have the same hair as you or have the same taste as you or hair loss. Ask the questions. Or maybe there's a procedure you're looking to get done. Have you tried it? Has it actually worked? Have you tried it once, or have you tried it for the full year of what they were told to do? And then what happened after the 6 months after doing the full procedures for the full year? Is it still sticking? Is it still working? Don't go to somebody who tried it once or, didn't even give it a full chance. You got to actually ask the questions, do the research. I also do not believe in going on research online, because online research with testimonials, people only show you the good stuff. They don't show you the shitty stuff.
Yeah.
And then the thing is like you're so invested in all these fake reviews or only the good reviews, you don't actually see the bad reviews. And bad reviews aren't bad. They're feedback for the company to improve themselves and to get better at what they do. I look for the reviews where like, yeah, they had a shitty review 6 months ago, but I now see all the reviews are really good because they fixed the review that they got that was bad. And now they made improvements. Now it's a good place. I'm like, okay, I want to go check out that place because they have integrity. I look for places like that. I don't look for some place that has 500 stars. That makes me question. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Something's not right.
Are they buying stars? Because that's another thing. You can buy reviews, you can buy likes, you can buy, followers, and make yourself look good to the rest of the people, and people start believing that you're successful when you're not.
Yeah. But you look at the ones with like 4.5, 4.6, 4.8, 4.9, and I scroll through reviews. I'll go like, oh my God, they had such horrible reviews 6 months ago. But I look at the new stuff, I'm like, wow, they got really good reviews now. Like, they put in the work. They actually care about what the people are saying. And I want to go there. And it's a good experience. And, and sometimes, you get those days where it's a shitty experience. And trust me, I've gone to 5 stars and it's been a shitty experience. I'm like, this is not a 5-star place. And I've been to places where it's been 3-star and I'm like, holy cow, this is totally a 7-star experience. I had a blast. Why has it got 3 stars? So go ask. Like, we have one hotel in Red Deer that we go to frequently, which has 2.5 stars. It is the best hotel. It's like an atrium, has a pool. It's so magical. The beds are... you don't know what you don't know. You got to ask the questions and like, are the reviews real? So with that hotel, I asked the locals. I'm like, do they, have bugs in there? Did they have a murder in there they didn't talk about? Like, why? Like, yeah, they just had some spicy stuff that didn't like them and wrote bad reviews. And I'm like, wow, it's actually a really good place.
In that same spirit, what are some of the things that, we should be looking into whenever we're choosing a hair loss professional, or whenever we decide to go to a hair salon, and get treatments for our hair? What are some of the things that we should be looking into?
Yeah. When you're looking for somebody, an expert, you want to see somebody who has integrity, and you could tell that they're not fudging stuff or putting the mask or picking out what they want people to hear. You want to see the raw, unedited stuff, because then you know that they're putting out real raw information. I find the rawer the information and more person to person the information is, the more quality it's going to be, because they care about the end user. I find, and there's a mix of it. Like, yes, you're going to have the repeat, like, clips of what you talk about repeated online, but they also have a mix of them doing stuff live. But if it's the same one message over and over and over and over with no raw in between, I question those, because, like, if they're not having the human side in getting you in, are they really
Are they real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or are they too glammed up because they have the money and the marketing to put into it? Are they giving you real results?
Yeah.
So I'm looking for that. Also stylists, like, well, if you're looking for a stylist, my favorite one, when I have clients who are moving to a new city, if I don't know somebody in that city, they'll ask, well, what do I look for? I say, well, go to the salon, don't go to the Flash salon, go to all the salons, go to the whole mall, go to the big one, go ask questions, ask the locals who they go to, see people with hair that you have that you like or that's like your hair, and ask where they go. And then go into the salons and be like, or if they only have one salon, look for the stylist that has the simplest hair, because they're probably the ones that are busy and have a big clientele that they don't have time to do the big flashy hair and the high vivid colors. But ask the questions of people who have the same problems as you do, and see what
Yeah.
they're doing. So if you have fine wavy hair, I'm not going to go to somebody who does textured hair. I'm not going to go to somebody who has short hair. I want to go to somebody who has fine wavy hair, because they're going to understand my hair, or who cut it. And that person, that the cutter may have short hair. I'm saying I find people with same hair, and I will walk up to them in the coffee shop and be like, hey, who cut your hair? And I will go to their stylist. I ask those questions. But as for hair loss treatments and solutions, it's going and asking those questions. And if you're investigating, say, a particular trichologist or a doctor,
Yeah.
and you're saying, can I see all your reviews? Well, they're only going to give you the good reviews. You could also go online and ask your community. Go on Facebook Market Space. You could go on community groups. You could even go direct. And I've had people ask me, hey, can I have a couple of references from you? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Here's a list. Here's our phone numbers. But I, of course, asked if I could give their phone numbers first, and they said yes, because I do have some packages that are pretty hefty and pretty pricey. And if you want to, before, and call a couple of these people who will say yes, they enjoyed what I did, here's our phone number, and do the research and find out if the results were given were actually real results and
Yeah.
lasted. And I make sure to ask after 6 months from when they last saw them. I don't ask right away, because thing is, with hair loss, you could get the procedure and yes, it'll work for like 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or whatever window it is. But after 6 months to 9 months, is it still working?
And that's a huge question, because again, I may have my first experience and was great experience, but am I getting results? Because we have to, separate the experience that you may have in a good place versus the results that you're getting. Am I really getting results? And that's the key question that all of us should be asking to anyone who ever had a procedure or is looking for recommendations. What was your result? What was your starting point? Where you're at right now? What was the change? And although the treatment may not be the same for you, but to have a reference in terms of what to possibly expect, in terms of results, that's huge. And there are a couple of things that we also need to consider in the process. What are some of the things that I need to either avoid, or things that I could move forward to, as I like to call it, the red flags and the green flags, right? What are some of those red flags for you, Carrie?
The red flags with moving forward. Well, first, if it's too glittery, too glittery, and if they're only pushing what's trending, because there are stuff like, even you in your toolbox, Sergio, you have products you recommend that are ancient,
Yeah.
and they fucking work. Excuse my
Yeah.
language.
Yeah.
Why fix what ain't broke? So are they pushing products that are only trending, or are they pushing everything, like what they know works? And because there are stuff that still works 20 years ago today.
And I like that you brought that up, because for instance, there's one particular product I even grew up with. My
Yellow
father used to
bottle.
use yeah, my father used to use it back then. I'm still using it in my clinic today because it works. Simple, it works. So as you said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. As simple as that. If something is good and is giving you results, what does it matter if it's ancient technology? If it works, it works. Period. That's it. Now, one of the things that I like to go through is through the proper consultation. When you go to a place and they don't ask you enough questions and they move right into the sales pitch, that's when you say red flagging, because a good consultation takes time. Now, Carrie, what would be the average you would say for a good consultation in terms of time? Because a good consultation cannot happen in 5 minutes.
No,
That's not a good consultation. If you're getting a consultation in 5 minutes, uh, that's not a good consultation. If you're
no.
experiencing hair loss, you're experiencing dandruff, you're experiencing hair breakage, you're going to a professional and you want to get your situation in order. 5 minutes is not enough for a consultation,
No.
even if it is free. I don't care. Um, 5 minutes is not enough. Now, what's the average for you, Carrie? What do you
Um,
believe is the average?
Average for me is 15 minutes minimum, then going into the deep. So, like, if I'm doing a free consultation, I'm making sure I have my look, but I ask the questions: who, what, when, where, why. And I am transparent, like, with timelines. I'm transparent with what I can do and what I expect from you. And I am making sure I'm asking the questions. I have been to dermatologists are bad for this. Not all of them. I have some really good dermatologists, but I had one in particular was like, looked at my something I had and they're like, oh, it says give you this. I'm like, you never asked me any questions. You just assumed. That's actually a burn. I got that from burning myself on the fire pit. I didn't get that from what you think it is. You didn't ask any of the questions. You know?
Wow.
So, like, it's asking those questions. And for a full, like, for me to tell you what you have, yes, there's sometimes I could be off the hop and be like, I could tell you what I suspect it to be, but I won't be able to tell you where it stemmed from until I do a full formal assessment. And that my assessments are about an hour to 2 hours, and I'm asking you all the questions, and I'm being a detective to find out what, where, why, and getting to the actual root of it. But the consultation itself is me figuring out my suspicions and what I might be able to offer you to do. And then we could go from there and be like, okay, this is where we start and this is how we fix it. So a good consultation is asking those questions, being transparent. If I've gone to a specialist because I need like hormone therapy, I'll be like, okay, well, what are the expectations from you? What are expectations of me for you? I want to have integrity in there and understanding what my commitments are going to be from my end and your end. That is a good consultation.
Definitely, definitely. Now, again, folks, we're talking about why the flashiest hair fix fail you. So, if you have experience with failed products, failed treatments, let us know about it right in the comment section. We want to know about your stories. What are the things that happened to you, and how you overcome it? Because unfortunately, there's a lot of unsavvy people out there. There's a lot of dangerous people out there doing crazy stuff. And unfortunately, one of those red flags is whenever there be like guaranteeing some crazy stuff.
Yeah, guarantee
You
I
get
never.
you get 3 inches of new hair in 2 months. Huh?
Yeah, no, no. There's a place to guarantee, and not that's not one of them. But
No,
you
no,
were
no.
talking about green flags. What are the green flags that you look for?
Usually when I talk about green flags, I like, for instance, a good comprehensive consultation and personalized treatment plan. That's for me one of the biggest, because you see, actually, we were talking about this before the show. One of the problems I have in my company, in my clinic, is that we are changing for instance, our forms, our documents, the thing that we have to give to our patients, because each case is unique, and we need to modify it so many times that it's crazy. It's a ton of work for us, but the end results for the patients are amazing. Why? Because we are delivering something that is unique to their particular needs, and that, my friends, is what makes a treatment a great treatment, when it is something that appeals and goes directly to what you precisely need. And you have to consider, you see, we see a lot of your comments sometimes. Is this product good? Can you recommend me a good shampoo? Can you recommend me a good scalp serum? What about vitamins? Which ones are good? It's not about which ones are good in terms of marketing and which in terms of sales. I mean, the largest selling shampoo in the world is Head and Shoulders, and it's not good for everyone. That's for sure. And the thing is, because it has a high marketing value, because it sells well around the world, does not mean that it's the best shampoo for you. So you have to consider what are your particular needs. So if my hair is thin, I want to volumize it. But is my hair also dry that I need to moisturize alongside with the volume? So I cannot get just a shampoo and conditioner for volume when my needs are volume plus moisturize. So I would probably choose a shampoo to volume and a conditioner to moisturize. So you have to mix and match, particular to someone particular needs. And forgive me by saying particular so many times, but you get the point. We need to be precise, and that's important. Now, the other thing is, whenever you go to a professional, they need to be focused on education. They should be able to educate you as a patient and to educate you into the process and to involve you into the process, and let let you be part of the process, because you are being educated about it and you're being informed about it. And not just, there's a difference between getting educated and being told what to do. Two different complete things. It's not the same to be told what to do and to be educated into the things that you need to do because of this, and that. All right, that's a whole different ball game, and that, my friends, is what we need to focus. That's one of the things that we need to tackle into the process, and see what's happening, and of course, again, educate our clients into what is important for them to do in the process. All right. Also, about expectations, we need to have expectations to be realistic. If the expectations that they're selling you are far too off, or far too ridiculous, if it's too good to be true, uh, believe me, it is too good to be true. Simple as that. Simple as that. All right. Uh, because you have to consider, you have to remember, it's you cannot grow hair instantly. That's impossible. New hair takes about 100 days to grow from zero, right? And that is to come out to the surface of the scalp. Now, from there, it takes about a fourth of an inch every month on average. Some people may grow about half an inch a month. Hey, perfect. But the
Lucky
average
you.
is exactly the average is about a fourth of an inch every month. So in about 2 months, you get about half an inch to, let's say, up to an inch of growth. That's it. That's it. So whenever someone's promising you 3 inches in 1 month, that's not realistic right there. That's something that you need to say, whoa, this is far too good to be true. And when they show you this before and after pictures, oh, you can get this amount of hair in 15 days. Really? That's not going to happen, particularly for people who has scarring alopecias. If you have cicatricial alopecia, if your follicles have become cicatricial, miniaturized, the ability to regain that hair on those areas is very little to none. So you have to think about this, guys. You have to think about this. If you have lost hair for let's say 20 years, and you have not recovered today, the chances of getting that hair back are very slim. I'm not saying that the hair that you have right now cannot improve, but I'm saying that the one that you already lost can be very difficult to regain because of the ability of the follicle. It may not be there. So again, these are the type of things that usually you want to be transparent with your customers about what's possible for them for the particular case. Because, for instance, if I see someone walking in like Carrie, she has pretty much, she has pretty good hair. But let's say that she told me, I have lost about 2/3 of my hair. Will I believe her? I will question it at first, but after I do after I do a test, I might see that the hair count is actually lower, and for her, hair count is actually bigger. Then I would say, all right, then we can work something out. And for her, definitely the changes will be bigger because she has too much hair. She has much more hair than some of the people that comes to the office. For people who has small amounts of hair, the type of results will be smaller. So the more hair you have, the bigger the results. The less hair you have, the milder the type of results. And that's something that you need, you need to make amends with, because it is part of the process. That's how it is. That's how it is. All right. Carrie, anything you want to add? But I know the time is short and you have to leave.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I wanted. Well, I'm actually going to put this little tidbit for those, because we've had a lot of people say they want to go get transplants. Make sure too you're doing your research on that, because we have worked with quite a few gentlemen who have gone transplants and then who have lost it within 2 to 3 years of having the transplant. And it's because they didn't get to the root of their hair loss, and then they planted the hair loss, and of course the hair loss that they planted did not work or fell out and did the exact same thing. So make sure when you're doing that, do your research. Talk to somebody who has had the transplants and have had it for a minimum of a year, or from when the healing is finished, and how long that hair lasts. Ask those questions. Put a list of questions of what are the questions I should ask for somebody who have had transplants, not who just had it last week or last month, who've had it for at least a year plus. And find out from them, because you'll even Google transplant stories. You'll hear lots. There's a lot of advocates out there. Sergio, there's one that you follow religiously, who went and got the transplants, and he's educating people on the importance of doing your research first, because of his story, which I highly recommend you go look it up. I can't remember the name. I'm sorry, Sergio. Maybe you could jump in on that. But do your research. Ask the questions. Ask the people who've actually experienced it, and go to first research. And when we research, there's primary research and secondary research. Primary research is going to the source and finding out the people who are actually involved before, during, and after. And then secondary is the secondary research is the stuff where you see the ads in the newspaper. They're telling the story for other people. You don't want to have that. You want the people actually telling the story firsthand.
Definitely. Make your build your research, ask around, and that's the best thing that you can do right now. Do not trust just only on the internet. The internet can get you a lot of information, but question people near to you, people who at least can give you a face-to-face interaction or reaction on whether that experience was good for them or not. Okay,
yeah,
so
forums. Go look on forums, Facebook.
Yes.
YouTube. Ask the people on YouTube talking about their stories, message them directly. People following them in that group, I'm sure you can reach out to them. They'll probably say the same thing. Yeah.
Definitely. Guys, that's the time that we have for today. Please stay tuned in for more here at the Hair Wire. We'll love to see you next week. Carrie, anything you want to add before we go?
No, thank you very much, you guys. This was great. Well, we do have the summit coming up too eventually. We'll set the date this week. So next week, make sure to tune in, because we're going to be talking about when our next free summit is going to be, and also to when the launch of our accredited program will be going live.
Woo-hoo! That's happening, baby. We'd love to see you next week. God bless you all. Till then, bye-bye. Oh, wrong button.